Hello, hopeful parent-to-be. Today, on this beautiful September day in 2025, you might be dreaming of holding a little one in your arms. This journey you are on, the path to welcoming a baby into your life, is one of the most exciting and hope-filled adventures you will ever take. It's a time filled with anticipation, a little bit of impatience, and a whole lot of love. I want you to know that you are not alone in this. Millions of couples are on this very same path, sharing similar dreams and questions. So take a deep breath. Let's walk through this together, one step at a time, with warmth, support, and a lot of practical advice to help you on your way. The desire to start or grow your family is a powerful and wonderful thing. It's a sign of love, hope, and a readiness to give your heart to someone new. But sometimes, the trying part of trying to conceive can feel a bit overwhelming. You might hear stories from friends who got pregnant on their first try, while others took a little longer. It's so important to remember that every single journey is unique. Your story will be your own, special and different from anyone else's. The key is to be kind to yourself and your partner. This process is as much about your emotional well-being as it is about your physical health. So let's focus on staying positive and informed. Think of this time as a special chapter for you and your partner. It's a chance to connect on a deeper level and learn more about your own bodies than ever before. You're about to become experts in your own health, creating the best possible environment for a baby to grow. This essay is here to be your friendly guide. We'll break down the process into simple, easy-to-follow steps. We will talk about everything from understanding your body's natural rhythms to making small lifestyle changes that can make a big difference. Think of me as a friend, sitting with you, sharing tips that have helped so many others before you. Our goal is to empower you with knowledge. When you feel informed, you feel more in control, and that can reduce a lot of the stress that sometimes comes with trying to conceive. We'll cover the basics of ovulation, share tips for timing things just right, and discuss how simple habits can boost your fertility. We will also talk about when it might be a good idea to chat with a doctor. So, get comfortable, grab a cup of tea, and let's start this beautiful journey. Remember, you've got this. Your body is amazing, and with a little bit of guidance, you'll be well on your way to that positive pregnancy test. Let's talk about one of the most important pieces of the pregnancy puzzle, ovulation. This might sound like a complicated science term, but it's actually quite simple. Ovulation is the moment each month when one of your ovaries releases a tiny egg. This egg then travels down the fallopian tube, waiting to meet a sperm. Think of it as your body's monthly green light for getting pregnant. Understanding when this happens is your secret weapon for conceiving faster. The egg only lives for about 12 to 24 hours after it's released, which is a very short window. That's why knowing your fertile window, the few days leading up to and including ovulation, is so incredibly helpful for your baby-making plans. So, how can you tell when you're ovulating? Your body gives you clues. One of the easiest ways is to track your menstrual cycle. For most women, ovulation happens about 14 days before the next period begins. If you have a regular 28-day cycle, you'll likely ovulate around day 14. If your cycle is 32 days, you might ovulate around day 18. You can simply mark the first day of your period on a calendar or use a period tracking app on your phone. These apps are fantastic because they do the math for you and can predict your most fertile days. It's a simple, low-tech or high-tech way to start tuning into your body's unique rhythm. Another great clue is your cervical mucus. I know, it might not be your favorite topic of conversation, but it's a wonderful fertility sign. As you get closer to ovulation, your body produces more estrogen. This causes your cervical mucus to become clear, slippery, and stretchy, a lot like raw egg whites. This special fluid helps sperm swim up to meet the egg. When you notice this type of mucus, it's a sign that your fertile window is open, and it's a great time to be intimate with your partner. It's your body's natural way of saying, go time. Paying attention to these changes can be incredibly empowering and informative. For those who love a more precise method, you can use ovulation predictor kits, or OPKs. You can buy these at any drugstore, and they work a lot like pregnancy tests. You simply pee on a stick each morning in the days leading up to your predicted ovulation. The test detects a surge in a hormone called luteinizing hormone, or LH, which happens about 24 to 36 hours before your ovary releases an egg. When you get a positive result on an OPK, it means ovulation is just around the corner. This gives you a clear heads up that your most fertile time has arrived, taking much of the guesswork out of the equation. Creating a welcoming home for a baby starts with taking care of yourself. Your overall health plays a huge role in your fertility, and the good news is that many of the things that boost it are simple, everyday habits. Let's start with what you're eating. You don't need to go on a strict, complicated diet. Just focus on eating a variety of whole foods. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins like chicken and beans, healthy fats like avocados and nuts, and whole grains like oats and brown rice. These foods are packed with the vitamins and minerals your body needs to function at its best, including supporting a healthy reproductive system. Another important step is to start taking a prenatal vitamin, even before you're pregnant. Think of it as building up your nutritional reserves. Prenatal vitamins contain essential nutrients like folic acid, which is incredibly important for preventing certain birth defects in a baby's brain and spine. By starting a prenatal vitamin now, you ensure that your body has a healthy supply of these key nutrients from the very beginning of pregnancy, sometimes even before you know you've conceived. It's one of the easiest and most effective things you can do to prepare for a healthy pregnancy. Just ask your doctor to recommend a good one for you. Let's talk about moving your body. Regular, moderate exercise is fantastic for fertility. It helps you maintain a healthy weight, reduces stress, and improves circulation, all of which are great for your reproductive health. You don't need to train for a marathon. A brisk 30-minute walk, a fun dance class, swimming, or some gentle yoga a few times a week is perfect. The key is to find something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore. However, be mindful not to overdo it. Very intense, strenuous exercise can sometimes interfere with ovulation, so finding a happy, healthy balance is what we're aiming for here. Finally, let's focus on rest and relaxation. Trying to conceive can be stressful, and high levels of stress can sometimes mess with the hormones that control ovulation. Prioritizing your mental well-being is just as important as your physical health. Make sure you're getting enough sleep each night, as this is when your body repairs itself and regulates hormones. Find healthy ways to unwind, whether it's reading a book, taking a warm bath, practicing mindfulness or meditation, or simply spending quiet time with your partner. Reducing stress isn't just good for your soul, it's good for your fertility too. Now that you know how to spot your fertile window, let's talk about the fun part, baby making. One of the biggest myths about getting pregnant is that you need to have intercourse every single day. While it might sound like a good strategy, it can actually lead to burnout and stress for both you and your partner. Plus, it's not always necessary. The goal is to have sperm waiting to greet the egg as soon as it's released. Since sperm can live inside a woman's body for up to 5 days under the right conditions, you have a pretty generous window of opportunity to work with each and every cycle. The best strategy is to have intercourse regularly during your fertile window. This window includes the 5 days leading up to ovulation and the day of ovulation itself. To maximize your chances, aim to be intimate every other day during this time. For example, if you expect to ovulate on day 14 of your cycle, you could try having intercourse on days 10, 12, and 14. This schedule ensures that there is a fresh supply of healthy sperm in the fallopian tubes, ready and waiting for the egg's big debut. This approach is effective and often feels less pressured than trying to time it for a single day. After you have intercourse, you might have heard all sorts of tips, like lying down with your legs in the air for 20 minutes. While there's no scientific evidence to prove that these positions help sperm reach the egg, there's certainly no harm in it. The most important thing is simply to relax. The sperm are powerful swimmers, and they know where to go. Lying down for 10 to 15 minutes afterward can prevent any immediate leakage and might give you some peace of mind. Use this time to cuddle with your partner and enjoy the moment. The emotional connection you share is just as important as the physical act itself. It's also worth mentioning that some lubricants can harm sperm and make it harder for them to swim. If you typically use a lubricant, be sure to choose one that is specifically labeled as fertility-friendly or sperm-safe. These products are designed to mimic the natural fertile cervical mucus and won't stand in the way of your baby-making efforts. You can find them in most drugstores or online. It's a small detail, but when you're trying to optimize your chances, every little bit of help counts. It's all about creating the most welcoming environment possible for conception to happen. The journey to pregnancy is different for everyone. For many couples, conception happens within a few months of trying. For others, it can take a little longer. It's important to have a general idea of when it might be helpful to seek some professional advice. The general recommendation is this. If you are under the age of 35 and have been trying to conceive for 1 full year without success, it's a good time to schedule a chat with your doctor or a fertility specialist. This doesn't mean something is wrong. It just means it's time to get a little more information and support from an expert. If you are 35 or older, the timeline is a bit shorter. Experts recommend checking in with your doctor after 6 months of trying to conceive. This is because fertility naturally begins to decline more noticeably with age, so it's wise to be more proactive. The same advice applies if you have any known health issues that could affect fertility, such as irregular periods, a history of pelvic inflammatory disease, or conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome or endometriosis. Being proactive allows you and your doctor to investigate any potential hurdles sooner rather than later, which can save you valuable time and emotional energy. It's also crucial to remember that fertility is a team sport. It's not just about the woman's health. The man's health is equally important. In fact, male factor issues contribute to about half of all infertility cases. When you see a doctor, they will likely want to evaluate both partners. For the male partner, this usually starts with a simple semen analysis to check the sperm's count, movement, and shape. For the female partner, the doctor might suggest blood tests to check hormone levels or an ultrasound to look at the ovaries and uterus. These initial tests are often simple, non-invasive, and can provide a wealth of information. Most importantly, please hear this. Reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not failure. The road to parenthood can have twists and turns, and there is absolutely no shame in asking for a map. Doctors and fertility specialists are there to be your partners and guides. They have a whole toolbox of options, from simple lifestyle advice to more advanced treatments that can help you achieve your dream of having a baby. You are not alone on this journey. There is a whole community of support available to you, and taking that first step to ask for help can open the door to new possibilities and renewed hope.